Videos from all over the internet that will make you question reality. Let's just start.
Believe it or not, when you see these celebrities go into jail, they are not going to the jail that you're used to. They are not going to the jail where they are surrounded by normal inmates. Nah, they're going to a whole different place. Now, what I'm about to say only occurs with some celebrities, but do you just find it weird that out of the blue, these celebrities just get caught up in some shit? Like just random, just out of nowhere. Like if you had all the money in the world and you have everything you want, then why do you need to be getting caught up in some shit? Now obviously it's different with somebody like Diddy, because he has all of these allegations thrown at him, but nevertheless, this brother is not in jail. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time where 6ix9ine was just off the map. He was silent, nobody heard from him, and then he just came back with a banger. I think it was that Killer tune, correct me if I'm wrong. But out of nowhere, from suddenly just going off the map to just coming back, he just dropped this tune. You see YWN Melly, obviously he's on trial for killing 2 of his best friends. And I ain't even gonna get off topic, but you damn well know that was a ritual. But this brother is not in jail. And mark my words, I don't know when, but he's gonna come back with a new tune. He's gonna beat the case. But wherever they are keeping him, it's not jail. The question is, where do they go? You see these celebrities, when they sell their soul, they are on strict command. It's like whatever they're gonna do is planned out for them. They'll literally come to these celebrities like, bro, we've got to take you, but we're gonna make up the story how you're in jail. These celebrities are getting cloned, or they're having these entities just being infused within them. They're being put through this mind control process. Like, why do you think some celebrities, when they just come back, some of them look a bit different? And it's not to do in terms of time and just the normal human growth. They just look and just move completely different. Like when you see them in music videos, they're just moving just different. Some people be like, oh, they're changed, they're trying new things, doing different things. Brother, it's 2024, wake up, man.
It cost Luigi Mangione $100 million to end the CEO of United Health's life.
That's a lot of money.
By TMZ that Luigi Mangione risks losing his grandmother's $30 to $100 million inheritance after being charged with the unaliving of United Healthcare's CEO, as trustees can deny payouts to individuals convicted of felonies. So not only did he put his entire life plus this massive inheritance on the line to end the CEO of United Healthcare's life, but a lot of the internet is calling this guy a hero because of their shared experiences with healthcare, especially healthcare here in the United States, which by and far the United States spends more money on than any other country in the world, and we're ranked 11th. By and far more money. But do you agree with his actions? Because in his statements, he said that he had to listen to his mother screaming in pain all of his life because of their health care. And he risked it all to make a statement. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like, share, and follow. This is the news.
How to use a picture of someone to find information about them. I'm about to go in super details. If you love me as much as I love you, blow this up. This can find scammers, social media, ex-offenders, mugshots, news, and blogs. Things about to get real sticky. First, you want to navigate to Google. Then you want to type this in right here. Hit enter.
Check Face
Then
ID.
you want to click the first one right here.
Okay.
You get a free trial, so I'm going to use that just to give you an example how powerful it is. Okay, this is the complicated part. So you want to hit browse, and you want to select whatever picture. So I took a screenshot of myself, of a picture of me. Oh man, look at me. Self-glaze is crazy. Now you wait till it loads. You hit search internet by face, and then you wait. You click yes, I understand, and agree to the search, and then you just wait. Oh wait, never mind. Let that bad boy do the scan. Okay, look at this. Certain match, confident match, uncertain.
Whoa.
Look at this. All of my Alright, they trying to violate me. I don't want to look like him. Look at, come on. This is crazy. Alright, they violate me. I don't look like that guy. They try.
What is the happiest country in the world?
Happiest country?
I
I'd
think
say
it's
Jamaica.
Finland.
They don't have to pay any rent.
That's wrong. What is the happiest
Finland?
country in the world?
Happiest? Gotta be Russia.
Nah, that's not Russia.
What's the happiest country in the world?
Sweden.
That's wrong. What is the happiest country in the world?
In the world? Fuck.
I don't know, but I think it's
America.
Finland. No.
That's wrong. What is the
But guys,
happiest
one of
country in the
the
world?
best countries in the world.
Singapore.
The
That's wrong.
cleanest.
What is the happiest country in the world?
Happiest. Japan?
No.
That's wrong.
Japan is
What is the
depressed.
happiest country in the world?
Sweden.
That's wrong.
Holy cow, this is so mind-blowing that my head actually hurts. In Antarctica, NASA has just discovered what might be a parallel universe where time flows backwards. Here's the wild part. They weren't even looking for this. They just had their NASA balloon out in Antarctica in the crystal clear air searching for cosmic particles. And then something impossible happened, literally impossible, that defies the laws of physics as we know them. So there are these high energy particles called tau neutrinos, and typically they come down from space. But what they discovered was that these things were actually coming up from Earth, like watching water flow uphill, something that, again, breaks the laws of physics as we know them. But scientists apparently are like, but maybe they aren't moving upwards. Maybe instead they're moving backwards through time. And apparently the simplest and most logical explanation for this is that it's a parallel universe that was born at the same time ours was during the Big Bang. But here's the kicker. In that universe, if you dropped your phone, it would unshatter and go back in your hand. If you spilled your coffee, it would flow backwards into the cup. Basically take everything we know about time and flip it and reverse it. Now, somewhere in this mirror universe, there could be beings looking at us saying, these guys are living life backwards. This is an absolutely insane discovery. I just hope it's not like the Upside Down and we've opened some parallel door.
How did we sink so damn low?
Sex. I understand why religion demonized sex.
Okay,
I'm telling
tell
you
us.
honestly,
Okay.
I totally get why sex was looked at as a sin, because it is the most dangerous energy given to infantile human beings. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, right, true.
Humans cannot handle this powerful energy because this energy catapults them to do all kind of things, and they have no self-control. They have no sense of morality and no sense of ethics. To live like that, to have discipline over your own body, the people cannot do it. And to have that, you have to live by higher virtue. And you have to have a level of willpower and self-discipline to go against your own nature.
Yeah.
The humans are losing against their own nature, right? And so nobody wants to hear the dark sides of themselves. For somebody to get out and say, this is who you are, show you a mirror, man, that demons don't like the light. Vampires don't like mirrors, right? And so this is ultimately what we're dealing with. Humans are hedonistic, pleasure seekers. You cannot get them to stop seeking pleasure because that's too painful, because humans are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. They don't want to go through pain, and to tell somebody to have sexual discipline, that's too painful for them.
It's a very common sentiment regarding space travel to think that it's just reserved for the rich. Space is just what rich people do when they're bored. They have no relevance to what we're doing here. We're so far removed from the process of space travel that we just associate with it, and hence we think that it's some kind of gimmick. But this sentiment is going to change, and that was the point of my last video, was to show people that with the introduction of this entrepreneurial spirit into space travel, it's going to come with it a paradigm shift. These private space companies are indeed making space travel cheaper and cheaper and cheaper by the day. And eventually, the paradigm will shift as soon as all people, everyday people, will have access to space. It's going to happen. That's the trend. So in the next few decades, when a college student can go to space and create a startup company in space that generates billions or trillions of dollars, just like Amazon did, that is going to change the way we see space forever. It's going to open up a whole new domain in which we could thrive and live abundantly in. Just like in today's world, we live in an age of abundance, where we have running water and TV and the internet and apps and infrastructure that allows for amazing companies and amazing inventions. Things that were created by entrepreneurs and scientists and mathematicians and engineers alike, all together working together and creating things that people at the time wouldn't envision would happen, but they did it anyway, and they took a step forward. They took a step into another level. They moved up and took the risk and made things happen that we now enjoy in. And although we take it for granted, we take for granted the fact that we have all these technologies available to us. For example, a college student today has access to the entire internet, all of AI, right? All these incredible technologies, robotics, are available to us today that 20 years ago were never available to us. So again, although we don't see it in our everyday lives, okay, space travel will be the same way in the next 3-4 decades, where our children and our grandchildren are going to have the ability to do anything they want in space. And that's the dream, that's the vision that people like Bezos and Musk has today. And the first thing people wanted to do in my last video was to immediately politicize the situation and say, oh no, let's divide ourselves into Musk fans and Bezos fans. Let's fight each other about who's better. That wasn't the point of my last video. It was to show people that the different entrepreneurial approaches to space travel comes with it these amazing paradigm shifts that can enhance humanity for the better if we just embrace space travel. And we can do both. We can preserve the Earth and all of its natural beauty and go to space at the same time and expand and generate more energy. We can do both at the same time. We don't have to compromise, because we have to trust that the infrastructure of the future will enable such technologies that can do that. And forget about the money. Forget about the monetary aspect of space travel. Space travel comes with it very deep spiritual implications. I mean, some of the deepest questions we have as a society, right? Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? What is this place? They might be able to be answered out into space if we just take a step forward and embrace this new territory that is virtually unlimited. I mean, come on. You have to be made of wood to not want to think about what's happening under the ice sheets of Enceladus. Are there aliens under there? Are there fish species? All kinds of amazing things. Or how about what's happening in Jupiter's core? What's the core made of? Is it metallic? Is it made of this exotic substance? Right? The journey to space. The journey to new endeavors, right? When you're led by your own curiosity, you're forced to innovate in ways that you could have never seen if you didn't go out into that journey. That's the point of space travel. It's one of the biggest reasons why we ought to go to space. And if we're going to expand as a species, if we're going to continue this civilization, we have to expand at some point. We have to move on. Earth is a finite place with finite resources, but there's an unlimited amount of resources out there in space that we ought to take advantage of. We owe it to ourselves to continue. And we say we're the greatest all the time. We say we're such amazing people. Well, let's act like it. Let's stop fighting so much. And I feel like people have stopped dreaming.
That's true, though.
Taking things for granted
too
much. And I think going to space could help minimize that kind of scarcity mindset and increase the more abundance mindset that we desperately need in humanity today. A mindset that's not so focused on little fights and bickering.
But do you agree, though? Do you?
Politics, but one that's looking long term, and it's not so short-sighted, but looking long term at big, huge goals for humanity. That would help diminish lots of the bigotry and hatred and fighting going on Earth. And that's one of the biggest ironies about space, that when we go to space, we learn a heck of a lot about ourselves.
Is there anything that you can't talk about?
Sure. If you ask me something I can't answer, I'll tell you.
But I'm interested to know what you're unable to talk about.
You can't talk about the cars.
Okay, the way that the cars work and the security systems.
Yeah, the weight, technical, mechanical things with the cars. Because you have to think of it this way. Anything I share here, you're going to have people that follow you, that listen, but you're also going to have bad actors who listen to these interviews to gather information because they want to carry out an attack. I always think like that. So there are certain things you can't share. I can't share certain things about Air Force One. I can't share certain things about like how we positioned ourselves. Like even though you'll see agents around the president, there's a schematic that we follow that the average person won't understand how we move. Our vehicles how they're positioned and why, how we would fight an attacker. Like there's scenarios we play and movements that exist. It's like a dance.
Do you have to sign a form when you leave or before you start to say that I'll never speak about certain things?
Do you know, initially, no, there was no such thing because there was such a level of trust.
You didn't need it.
You didn't need it. And then one agent, and I love him, he came out and he started talking about things he shouldn't have talked about. And as soon as he did that, the NDAs came, which is a little sad because up until that point, it was really just everything we did was based on the honor system.
Is there any recommendations you have for young women in how to identify psychopathic men?
If you look at qualitative interviews of actual psychopaths after they've committed a crime or something and they're interviewed by police or forensic psychologists, they'll reveal how early on in their life they kind of recognize that they didn't feel emotions the way that other people did. And some of them will say things like, so I learned how to mimic emotions by watching movies. So they'll watch a movie, observe what sadness looks like, some actress or something crying, then they would go to the mirror and then like try to like make that same face. And the reason why they are often viewed as more genuine is because actors already exaggerate just a little bit for the camera, and then the psychopath is exaggerating the emotions of an exaggeration, right? Like they're imitating an imitation, and so it becomes even more of an exaggeration. And I think that may be why. All of this is to say that I think like if someone is a little too magnetic and charismatic, that could be one marker.
You know what a guy said the other day? He said his biggest ick on a girl, and this blew my mind, I'll always be aware now, is when they're wearing makeup and you can see the clear line on their jaw from
right, that's so ugly. That's so not nice.
blend your foundation down
Right,
so it just
it's
looks
true.
like all one seamless thing. But girls don't do that, so you just see the stars.
That's so not nice. It's true.
Have now so much accessibility to watch all these routines and makeup tutorials that we never got growing up, but now these girls are doing like get readies with me in 3rd grade. No, it's very strange. Like, of course I wouldn't know how to blend out my neck. I don't know if TikTok taught people to not have an ugly phase, but I think having an ugly phase as a child is a quintessential part of growing up.
Trust me, watch this.
Nobody goes to hell because they sinned. If not, everybody will go there. John chapter 3. Why do people go to hell? John chapter 3. For God sent not his son into the world to condemn it, but that the world might be what? So when you see all of these pastors online that are always accusing people, pointing at people, you will ask themselves, but God did not send his son to condemn the world. Pointing out people's sin does not make them change. Bible says it's the goodness of God that leads to repentance. So I want to show why people go to hell. Condemnation is about the sentence to eternal death. He said, but he that believeth not is condemned already. So people are condemned not because they sin. People are condemned because they refuse to believe. So nobody goes to hellfire for sinning. They go to hellfire for not receiving Jesus Christ. He said, he that believeth not is condemned already because he has not believed. So the condemnation is a refusal to believe in the name of the Son of God.
What are the biggest red flags a girl can have?
A promiscuous past. Now, I've been very forgiving, and I've dated girls with a lot of partners in the past, and it's turned out horribly bad. Like, I want to think, you know, it happened in the past, it's not going to affect them now, but it does. It's why? You could say, okay, promiscuous past, but what led to that? And then it's probably their parents. So you can just look back and say the red flag is not having good parents. If you're on a date and you say, tell me about how your relationship is with your parents. I love my mom and I love my dad, they're great. She's probably going to be a catch. If they said, yeah, my dad was never there, in and out, probably gonna have some problems.
Pornography from 18 to 25 years old. Yeah, at first I was enjoying it because the money was rolling in. I understand why women sit and go, maybe I should make an OnlyFans. I mean, I was making probably, it could be anywhere from 30 to 50,000. I was more so treating it somewhat as a business, but that didn't last long. That empowered feeling, it fades. When you continue to objectify yourself, sooner or later you will feel it. It takes a toll on your soul. In my time of being in the industry, I only knew 2 women that didn't use drugs. I mean, I've seen women like pounding back bottles of alcohol, and it's so crazy because the porn activists, oh, these women are empowered, they love what they're doing. In my head, I'm thinking, yeah, she's not as happy and empowered as you think she is. Like, I've seen her have to get wasted just to do the scene that you think she's enjoying.
Wow, you know, that's confusing because AOC said sex work is work. Oh, maybe that was her pimp. Oh, no, it was AOC. No, it was the pimp. I get them confused.
We are doomed.
This guy here posted on TikTok that he was going through his 9-year-old son's phone and found this message. Let's listen.
What? The young boy is a gangster, man. It's gang. This is crazy.
Obviously, this kid is learning this.
From where?
From an adult.
Yeah, right.
She's seeing this, so she is seeing this in her household or at school. Mostly, I believe it's from the household and the environment that she's in. But if a young kid is talking like this, I hope this dad called her parents, but the way she's talking, it's probably the parents.
It's scary, man.
And that is just sad.
What is a popcorn brain?
Most people have popcorn brain. Popcorn brain is a biological phenomenon, a real biological phenomenon coined by a man named Dr. Levy, a psychologist. And it is essentially your brain circuitry starting to pop based on overstimulation. So it's not like your brain is actually popping, but it's that sensation of popcorning because of spending too much time online. It is hard to disengage from what's happening online because there's a constant information stream, and it is difficult to live fully offline where life moves at a decidedly slower pace. Popcorn brain is an affliction that nearly every single person has right now. Think about what you do when you're waiting in line at the grocery store. You're not just like letting your brain wander, pondering things. You are on your phone.
Sorry, my child tax credit
Right.
has decreased by almost
Right.
80%. Last year, I broke my neck. I almost lost.
You have a beautiful voice, by the way.
I'm having a panic attack.
That's so cute. Trump is a nice man. And also not a nice man.
50% of kids have been exposed to it. So my son just turned 14. So I turned to him. I say, okay, have you seen pornography before? And what was interesting is he wasn't trying to be coy. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know how to define it. So I had to then start to define it for him. And what I realized is, A, not only had he seen pornography, but my 10-year-old had seen pornography.
The average age at which a child stumbles across first season is 6 years old.
6 years
6 years
old?
old. And
What?
that survey was done 11 years ago. I got an email from a woman who said, my first exposure was 8 years old and it was a gangbang. There are two pieces of advice I've had to give to parents over the years. The first one is,
you start making enemies the day you start having opinions. Everything we know, somebody told us. So you asked me the question, how do you get out of that group think, right, that you were raised with? I stopped having opinions. That's it. And some people will say, what do you mean by that? Okay, if you ask me to taste your food and give you my opinion, that is different. I will say, oh, it has too much salt or so. That's a different kind of opinion. But every day we wake up in the United States or wherever you live, there is news in the air, and people think that they must have opinion about everything. Let me share something with you. No child or no human being is born with an enemy. Never. You start making enemies the day you start having opinions. Yes. There are different types of opinion. Informed opinion, educated opinion. Doctors, mechanics, builders, they will give you mechanics, they will give you informed opinion if you ask about something to do with health, to do with your car, to do with your structure, your building. The rest is just purely. And each time you have an opinion, you may not know it or know it, you're hurting somebody somewhere. So I stopped having an opinion and I started questioning the answers I have come to embrace so much that I enjoy. And one by one, I realized they are not rooted in any particular doctrine or truth at all. It was just passed on to me, just as they know it too. Can you believe? I have never been to the United States, and that this will interest you guys. I arrived here in the United States, and immediately I arrived here, when people asked me, I said I'm a Democrat. And I believed right away then that the Republicans were racist. I've never even read a book, I've never joined any organization. But when I arrived in an inner city, Bridgeport of Connecticut, of course it's a democratic city. The people are black like me. So whatever they believe should be right because they're like me. So here I am, I'm a Democrat. And one day I asked myself, how did I become a Democrat? And I just realized, no, it's a group thing.
Nobody even knows there's over 20 kinds of orgasms that you can have.
Oh,
There's
really?
That's a one and done. But then there's
Look at his face.
You said there's multiple types of orgasms.
20.
I read this quantum orgasm.
Yeah, quantum orgasm, yeah.
What's that?
Of the 20 kinds of orgasms, there are locations to touch.
Okay.
Oral, vaginal,
Okay.
anal, breastgasms, nipple
Okay.
gasms, throat gasms, etc.
Oh, really?
And then there are techniques to use.
Okay.
So for female ejaculation, which all women can do, there are very specific techniques that work, and it's not what you see on porn. And then there's expanded orgasm techniques as well. And an expanded orgasm, or like a quantum gasm, there's locations to touch, techniques to use, and tools or objects of desire. Because who's to say that that crop that spanks your bottom isn't an object of desire to give you orgasms? It is too. So a regular orgasm is, okay, it's very similar to what men think about an orgasm being. Like, and you have the orgasm. That's a one and done. And often women who say, and a lot of men complain about this to me, after she has an orgasm, she doesn't want me to touch her. It's over. She's done. And I'm like, you're driving her too hard. You haven't given her enough engorgement. If you go slower, she'll be able to have multiple orgasms because you haven't driven her nervous system so hard to get the first one done. So slow down, lighter touch, more engorgement, more foreplay, make out, play with her boobs, stroke her body, tell her she's beautiful, all of these things. And then she can move into multiple orgasms. She can do that, right? But then there's extended orgasms. So this is where she starts being able to sit in sensation. And this is back to sex as a mindfulness practice. Now she's right there. She's in the orgasm.
Just realized that 2025 is the year of the snake in the lunar cycle. I don't know if y'all realize this, but do y'all know what happened in the year of the snake previously? 1917, year of the snake, the U.S. entered World War I. 1942, year of the snake, the U.S. entered World War II. That was after the attack on Pearl Harbor. 2001, year of the snake, 9/11 happened. Leading to what? The War on Terror. Also the invasion of Afghanistan. These were all significant moments in history where the U.S. was thrust into massive shifts. Do you catch my drift? So the year 2025 is the year of the snake. What y'all think will happen? Let's talk about the time in between the events. So from 1917 to 1941 was 24 years. 1941 to 2001 was 60 years. From 2001 to 2025, we back at the 24-year mark. We starting to see a clear pattern emerge between the 24 and 60 year mark. And it's clear as day, every year of the snake or every 24 to 60 years, some kind of global upheaval happens. Like the shedding of the old, trying to bring something new in, even though it's going to be chaotic and painful. But 2025 is also the year of 9, which is completion, as well as endings and transformation. Snakes shed their skin just as the old collective consciousness is going to shed their old belief system. The veil which has been hidden will be lifted or completely demolished. No coincidence that all of this energy is converging in 2025, the year of the snake. I mean, just think about it. We're getting ready for it now. Global tensions, the shifting of power, push for truth over illusion. And it's all leading us somewhere. And if you could feel it, if you real tapped in, then you already know where it's leading us to. 2025 will not just be another year. It's a pivotal moment in history. The world will be forced to reckon with its own shadow. If the snake sheds its skin, the collective is preparing to shed centuries of control, manipulation, and deception. I talked to everybody last year and said buckle up for 2024. Y'all probably thought I was joking. 2024 was just the tip of the iceberg. You can bet your bottom dollar when I say buckle up for 2025, you better do so. I'm only saying this because most people are not ready to handle the truth. Those with your eyes wide open, it's just gonna be another bump in the road. But we'll be alright. The end of the world, it's just the end of an era. Honestly, I'm glad to see this shit go. And what was hidden will be revealed. Better believe it. If you think what came out this year was something, you have no idea. Those who have been doing the inner work will be ready to step into this new era. Post-veil reality is not about fear though. It's about preparation. It's understanding and alignment with the truth. Snake represents knowledge, wisdom, and rebirth. Just like 1917, 1941, 2001, and 2025 marks pivotal moments in our collective journey. 2025 will be a bit different because this is on a whole spiritual level. Just make sure you keep your third eye open, aka your first eye. Keep your head on a swivel. Just remember, everything is connected. 2025 will be the year that proves it. Mark my word. Make sure you get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
And we don't judge.
I really...
Oh, when you would write checks to my school, I would have my friend's mom sign them over to her, and she would give me the cash.
Who?
I can't tell you.
Ready?
We listen and
you
we...
can say
you
it.
can't judge. It's
Look at her face.
Next, ready? We listen and we don't judge.
Okay. When me and Alyssa would have sleepovers at the house, we would call random guys online and tell them to come pick us up, and we would sneak out. We listen and we don't judge. Is there any more?
I guess that's it. Okay. Oh. Well, back in high school, when I didn't feel like washing the dishes, I would just throw them in the garbage.
Is that where all the silverware went?
That was good. Yeah. I feel like we bonded.
We did.
That
was really good.
I don't even like you guys. Like that. I listened and I judged. I don't.
How many billionaires do you think there are in the world? There's 3,194. But I actually think most people would think there's more than that.
Yeah, right.
Because I think part of what's happened is the media has made it seem so accessible. And I think people have lost the relevance of what $1 billion is and how hard that is to accomplish. And forget about politically whether you think there's too much wealth or whatever. That's not the point. The point is we want to inspire people to try and create great value. But I think that's one of the problems is today it makes it seem like it's easy because we talk about billionaires and all the magazines and all the online stuff, but there's 3,194 billionaires in the world.
China is reportedly being ravaged by a mysterious viral outbreak that is overwhelming some hospitals and prompting people to wear face masks again. Videos on social media appear to show hospital units overwhelmed with crowds of patients and parents holding sick children in long queues in pediatric units late at night. There have also been unverified reports online that crematoriums are overwhelmed. The videos and lack of official commentary have led some to draw similarities with the early days of the 2019 outbreak. Local news reports have blamed a little-known virus called human metapneumovirus, HMPV, which normally causes a mild cold-like illness, for the latest outbreak, though officials have yet to confirm this. Official reports from the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention suggest that regular flu is leading the outbreak, with 30% of tests coming back positive for influenza and 1 in 7 people hospitalized with a severe respiratory illness testing positive for it. The Chinese government and World Health Organization are yet to address the videos publicly, which are being widely circulated on social media.
The Garden of Eden, spoken of in the Bible, that's the Congo.
Congo?
The Congo is the Holy Land, the real Garden of Eden, the birthplace of the original man and woman of this planet known as the Bantu. You understand me? This is the most fertile place on earth. This is where the human life was placed to thrive by the Creator, the Congo. Study the Congo. You will understand the true meaning and nature of human civilization, humanity. The Congo jungle is the largest jungle on this planet.
Oh, really?
Study. For the more you study, the more options you will have. And the more options definitely means
bigger than Amazon? This is crazy. How true is it?
This girl from Ohio got reincarnated after she claimed she was Cleopatra's servant, and her memories were terrifyingly real. In 1963, in the quiet town of Ashford, Ohio, a little girl named Emily was born. From a young age, she said strange things that her parents couldn't explain. At just 4 years old, Emily told her mother, "I used to live in Egypt. I was a servant to Cleopatra." Her parents laughed, thinking it was just a child's imagination. But Emily didn't stop. She kept repeating it every day. As Emily grew older, her memories grew clearer. By the time she was 6, she could draw and write in ancient Egyptian symbols, even though no one had taught her. She talked about the royal palace as if she had lived there, describing the rich scents of perfumes and the grand stone floors. When Emily turned 18, her parents took her on a trip to Egypt. They were curious but still unsure of what was going on. When they arrived at the Great Pyramids, Emily moved through the ancient halls like she had been there before. She pointed out rooms no one else knew about, walked through secret passageways, and described hidden chambers in detail. At one point, Emily stopped in front of a small chamber and said, "This is where I used to sleep." Her parents were shocked because there was no sign of a room like that on any tour. A few days later, they found a hidden tomb in one of the pyramids. Inside, they discovered a mummified servant dressed in robes, and it looked exactly like Emily. The tomb was unmarked, but above it was a symbol Emily had been drawing since she was a child. Emily's parents couldn't explain it. Some people believe she was Cleopatra's servant in a past life, reincarnated to walk the earth again.
What? This is so creepy. This is terrifying. And I had one word which was terrifyingly real. So yeah, I wrote it down. And yes, it was. Yeah, so we've come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also comment on the video that interests you the most, and also the one that piqued your interest. We've come to the end of the video. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.